Hi there, welcome to this lovely morning. I'm going to be photographing some birds in the hide in my garden. I hadn't planned on making another video quite so soon from here in the hide, but the other day I came out and noticed some redpoll, which is really exciting because I haven't seen them for ages here in the garden. So I'm going to tell you more about those later in the video. So stay with me in this video because, as well as showing you lots of pictures of the birds that I've seen recently, I'll give you a few tips as well, and I know that I'm really going to enjoy my photography. This video came about because I went down to my hide by a pond where I sometimes see a kingfisher, and I did a little bit of tidying to get it ready for the new year, and I spent about 2 hours sitting waiting to see what I saw. Now unfortunately I didn't see anything except a couple of teal, a male and a female, so I'll show you pictures of those. I didn't see the kingfisher at this point. Now in the future we do plan on doing quite a bit of work on the pond. The person that owns it has got plans to dredge the pond to make it deeper, and then we're going to build a wildlife area where I can hopefully attract the kingfisher but set up a hide as well. So that's really exciting. So that's coming in the future. But because I didn't see anything while I was down there, I thought I'd spend an hour in the bird hide in the garden, and I'd hardly been in there very long before I saw 3 redpoll and a siskin, and I haven't seen redpoll in the garden for about 7 or 8 years. It's a really long time since I've last seen them, so I was really excited and I thought that I'd share them with you today in this video. And also you can do me another really big favour by clicking the like, subscribe and the bell notifications if you haven't already done so, because it really does help out the channel. In this video I'm not really going to talk about the hide itself because I've done that in recent videos, so I'll put links down below in the descriptions for that. But I talk about the hide itself, how I set up perches and what feed I use to attract birds. So you can see my camera here behind me. It's resting on this little table on the top of a beanbag. That helps to keep it stable to minimise any camera shake, and I'm about 4 to 5 metres away from where the birds will be on the perches. When I'm photographing birds, I tend to always use aperture priority. That way I can keep the aperture fairly wide. On dull mornings, with this lens being up to 600mm, the widest I can go is f6.3, but if it's a bright morning then I will stop down ever so slightly, maybe to a 7.1 or even an f8, because it just gives me more depth of field, but I'll still end up with quite an out of focus background. Now when it comes to ISO, I normally manually select that based on the lighting conditions to give me a reasonable shutter speed. Now you don't really want to go any lower than 1/200th of a second if the birds are fairly static and you've got a stable platform. Really, if the birds are moving, you need to be up into the thousandths of a second, maybe even 1/2000th of a second if you want to start taking pictures of birds in flight. But unless the lighting conditions are really bright, that's very difficult to achieve. Some people use automatic ISO, which allows the ISO to float depending on the lighting conditions, but I just prefer to set it manually so I know it's not going to go higher than a certain value, and usually for me that's no higher than about 1600 ISO, just to make sure I don't introduce too much noise. But I know with this camera and some of the tests that I've done, I can get reasonable pictures with far higher ISOs. I just try and keep the quality the best that I can. Despite the fact I'm sat here with the shed door open and I'm talking to the camera as well, when I look out I can see 2 redpoll out on the feeders. So it just shows that they're not bothered about my presence and they're just happy having some breakfast this morning. I am really lucky here that we're on the edge of farmland, that we get lots of different variety of birds, and I've had lots of visitors over the last couple of days when I've been sat out here photographing. Now I obviously I'm really here for the Redpoll, but as well as those, I've seen lots of other birds as well. So some of the highlights are obviously the robins that visit very regularly, because they just seem to be so photogenic. They tend to land in places and stay there for quite a while and perform some really good poses. I always prefer to have my birds in profile, so you see most of the bird, and it also helps with the depth of field as well, because if they are straight onto the camera in profile, then you don't get the tail out of focus or the beak out of focus. Particularly if you're focusing on the eye, quite often if they're facing towards the camera, the tail can go completely out of focus. So a profile shot really helps with that, but occasionally they will turn around and cock the head and do something that's a little bit different. And I have got one actually with the bird with its back to the camera and sort of looking over its shoulder, and I think that's really attractive. Now I do reorganise the perches quite frequently just to keep the display quite interesting, and a few days ago we had some strong wind that blew down one of the perches, kind of twisted the big tree trunk that I attached the perches to and snapped one of the screws. So I had to do a bit of repair work, and in the process I just moved everything about. But as I was moving one of the branches, I did find there was a really good hole that must have been a branch at one point, but it formed a really good receptacle to just put some seed into. So that attracted a blackbird to that spot, and I got a really nice profile shot that showed off its markings really well. Now, as you'd expect in a garden like this, I get quite a few varieties of tits. So I've seen the great tit, which you can spot by its black, yellow and white plumage, and of the tits it's one of the largest, and it's quite brave and it does pose really nicely. Then of course we've got the blue tit, which is known for its blue and yellow plumage. It's very friendly, quite cute, and again it gives some nice poses, but it is a smaller bird. Slightly more unusually, I've also seen a coal tit. This is even smaller, and this is mainly black and white, but it's quite difficult to photograph because it doesn't stay in one place for very long. It's very quick, it darts onto the feeders and then darts away. Just occasionally it might land on one of the perches, but if it does, you have to be really quick, and it's almost you have to be pointing in that direction. If you try and move the camera to try and catch it, you almost stand no chance. So you have to be waiting with the camera focused on one particular perch, hoping that something will land there. Another slightly more unusual visitor we had over the last few days was a jay. Now this hopped around further back from the perches. It didn't come as close as I would have liked, but I still got some really nice photographs. So it hopped around the paddock looking for some food. So I've got one shot of it's actually hopping, so it's in the air, and then another one that landed on some of the crosses that we've got at the back of the paddock where we've got some pets buried. One bird I always like to see, and I think it's quite underrated, is the dunnock. It's a really shy little bird, and most of the time you'll see it at ground level, but ever so often it will come up onto one of the perches, and I've even seen it on the feeding table as well. Love them or loathe them, you're bound to get grey squirrel on feeders like this because they can't resist coming for the food. So I do put squirrel cages around the feeders just to try and prevent them from stealing too much of the food. Now they still seem to find a way of getting to it, but I still think they're quite attractive to photograph, and I've got some nice poses of some of the squirrels that have come despite them taking a lot of the food. But of course the main reason for making this video was the visit that I've had from the Redpolls. Now they are still there on the feeders as I speak at the moment, and they are really distinctive, mainly because of the very dominant red patch on the top of their heads. Now if you do happen to see redpolls, you can tell the difference quite easily between the male and the females, because the male has a pinkish breast, whereas the female lacks this. It's slightly more unusual to see a redpoll because it is an autumn and winter migrant. It comes down from Scandinavia, and because of that it tends to be seen more on the eastern coast. So for me to see it more towards the west of England is slightly more unusual, so that's why I'm really lucky. When it comes to the UK, in search of food, it can be mainly seen to start with in coastal areas before moving inland to find more food. If you see one, you are more than likely going to see more than one, because it does tend to be quite gregarious and it flocks together outside the breeding season. The food that it likes is mainly spruce, alder and birch seeds, but at the moment it's really liking my Niger seeds that I've put out. Now I am really lucky to have this bird hide here in the garden, so I can come out anytime that I want to photograph these birds, but I do find it really relaxing just sitting watching them. You never know what you're going to see next, and you're always waiting for that special moment where you see something different, or a bird that you see quite often does something slightly more unusual. It's a very calming and relaxing way of spending 2 or more hours. I can lose time when I'm sat out here in the hide. So what I'll do now is I'll leave you with some of my favourite photographs from the last couple of days. I do hope you've enjoyed spending time with me this morning, and in particular seeing those redpoll. It's really quite a special sight to see a bird that is not that common, because it's a long time, as I said before, since I last saw one here in the garden. So to see 4 of them this morning at one time was really quite a privilege. Well, if you have enjoyed this video, do let me know down below in the comments, or nip over to my Instagram or Vero account, that's @DOakdenPhotography. Leave me your comments there, and you can also see lots of my photographs. Now if you like what I do on the channel and you want to help support me to make future content like this, then you can leave out the gift shop. That's at Teespring. There I've got a range of merchandise on offer, so head off over there, because a purchase really does help me out and it's very much appreciated. But you don't have to spend any money at all to support the channel. You can do that simply by clicking the like, subscribe and the bell notifications. Really helps me out, and it makes sure that you don't miss out on any future content. Watch out for next week's video. That goes live on Sunday. In the meantime, you can go and check out this video just up here. But all that's left now is to say, stay safe, and I'll see you soon.